Well, Mike, you've had a holiday of sorts back into the sort of the close season sort of merry-go-round, if you like. How are you finding it at the minute?
There's lots of players out there, lots of players, and it's just trying to get the right ones for the right price that are going to suit how we want to go take the club forward. And plenty of things ongoing. It's just a juggling act at the minute. It's trying to get, if you get the one and he costs you this much, what have you got left? And it's just trying to balance it, make sure you've got everything in your squad that you need, and be able to have a real go at it this season. There's some strong sides in it, but we're getting there. Hopefully one or two things happening over the next week or so. But people are just seeing what's out there at the moment, and that's the player's prerogative. The later we go in June, the more signings you make.
The areas you want to strengthen are fairly well documented. Are you making a bit more progress in some than others?
Yeah. Yeah. We're down the line. Well, I'd say down the line. We're speaking to lots and lots of players, lots of agents and stuff. Nothing concrete to report right at this moment for various reasons. And we're just going to continue to pursue what the best we can. People are. You think, do we push that boat out for this player, and then he signs for somebody else, and you hear the wages that some of the wages being quoted are ridiculous. So we've got to spend our money wisely, like I've always said. But come the start of the season, we've got to give ourselves a fighting chance of being able to get in that top half and at least stay there.
Are there areas where there isn't much choice? I mean, left-sided midfielders, for example, tend to be few and far between.
Yeah, there's a few. There's not too many. How do you know? I'm left side. I'm just looking for. I'm after two strikers, a wide player, a centre half, and a goalkeeper. Probably. That's probably where we are. If I can get those five for the money I've got, then great. If not, then I have to settle for four of those. Then so be it. Two strikers and at least two strikers and a wide player are pretty much a prerogative with a centre half. Whether we can get a wide player who can play in a wide position, it just. We're trying to juggle about. If we go for an ex-player who's going to perhaps cost you a little bit more than you want to be spending, but you can get somebody who can play in a couple of positions, then that always helps.
Do you know at this point how you'd like to use the loan market this year?
Yeah, we want to get a couple in probably early doors, but again, finances dictate. We've got a budget. I want to try and. I've said all along I'm going to keep pushing the chairman and the board to get the best possible players that we can, and that means that keep asking questions, keep asking them for a little bit more all the time. Not that so they're going to get sick of me asking and just keep saying no, but if they see the right players coming in and hopefully we'll be able to do something. Trying to get at least one half season loan to start with as well, and then we'll see where we go from there.
So the 5 players you'd want, would you want loans within that, or would you want loans on top?
One or two props might have to be loans within that. It all depends. I looked at a couple of things last year. I don't think Stevenage had a loan player. It swings and roundabouts with them. Some you can get some really good ones. You can get some ones who it doesn't quite work. I've got to try and use it to the best of our ability, whether that be season long, whether it be just months, whether it be just impact, whether it be for injuries, whatever. But my aim at the moment is perhaps at least to try and get at least one on a half season loan from the start.
Looking back over the Wes Thomas experience from last year, is geography still a factor, do you think, in people going to Cheltenham?
Geography, finance. I think those are the two big. Not geography. Wes was a different case with that. His girlfriend didn't want to move away from London. He's been fortunate that he's half an hour from home now with Crawley, who are paying decent wages. I think wages is the factor right at this moment in time. If I had more money, then I'd have probably been in for one or two of other people have signed. But we've got what we've got. That's fine. We're still trying to get the best possible ones we can.
David Bird's the only one who you put an offer to who hasn't signed yet. Do you expect that one to be tied up?
Yeah, I think. I might be jumping the gun, but I hope not. We've spoken to David. He's going away today. I think it's all agreed. I think he's just got to come back out and sign a contract when he gets back.
And that'll be a 10th season for him here.
Yeah, that'll be a 10th, and I think, if I'm not jumping the gun, I think that probably might include a testimonial of some sort. So, he's been having that discussion with the chairman and Paul Godfrey. I'm happy for him. He's been a good servant to the football club, and I know that there is talk of a testimonial of some sort. So he'll have done well.
I could probably throw 300 names at you, but I will ask about a couple. Robin Shroot was released by Birmingham. Obviously, you had him here last year. Yeah. Is he somebody you've spoken to?
I haven't spoken to him. I've spoke to a million agents, and they've got a whole host of players. Robin's a name that's been briefly mentioned. He was on a hell of a lot of money last year at Birmingham. He wouldn't be on anywhere near that. But he wants to be playing football. So he's a player that he was here for 6 months and he did well. Although he only made 4 or 5 starts, came on a sub. We didn't lose the game when he started. So maybe that is a lesson. But like I say, I'm trying to get 2 natural strikers at the minute. And Robin's a player that I like. It just finances as well dictated that he went back.
And the other one was a player I think was probably within spitting distance of coming here on loan last year. Didn't in the end, but I think he's available now. Is Jack Midson?
Yeah, Jack's one that's been on the agenda for a couple of months now, but nothing at the minute. We like the players are doing. We're just seeing what we can get for the best possible price we can get, and just going from there. We've got a staff meeting again tomorrow. We're all meeting up tomorrow for a few things, and we just got to decide. I've got a little bit of money to spend in terms of players' wages, and I've just got to make sure that everyone's happy with numbers and the quality that we're trying to bring in.
Is the Gary Warren thing still potentially on? Because obviously the interest in him has been pretty clear. Pretty clear from. Well, from your point of view.
Well, from Newport's point of view, they went to the press about it with it. I made Anthony an offer for Gary. He said he'd get back to me. He didn't dismiss it. He did say that he's a big player for him. He got back to me a couple of days later and said that at the money that we offered, then it wasn't a goer. And then it's got out in the press, and whether they're trying to drum up business or not, I don't know. I've only got what I offered. I haven't got a penny more, and I don't even think I've got a penny on me, so I don't think I can contribute. He's a player I would have liked, but whether or not it happens, it remains to be seen.
You look at some trialists last year. Can you see that situation happening again when the players come back?
We'll have a few to start with. But I want to try and get 17, 18 really first team squad players in and around when we're back, so we can have a good 5.5 weeks pre-season where we nail a few things down, get working on the fitness side, get working on the playing side, and looking forward to having a good season.
Mark, how do you think your position compares to the same stage last year in terms of the players you bought and also the market? Is it much different to last year?
I think we're trying to. I think the good thing is the chairman and the board are seeing that we need to try and go up to the next level, and they've given me a little bit more money to go and get players. Not a huge amount, but and a decent amount that I can go. But I've still got to make sure that works. The players we're looking at, the players are at that next level on the wage bracket, 1 or 2. So it's whether you can get them down, whether you can go in and nick one of them for some. But at the moment, particularly looking at strikers, everyone's after 2 strikers. So it's tough. You're getting plenty. I've had plenty of knockbacks, plenty of. We'll give you a ring if this such and such doesn't come off, and that's just the nature of where we are. But come the start of the season, I'll be hopeful. I'll be confident that we'll have a squad of 19, 20 players ready to go, fit, strong, and better for last year's experience.
Yeah. Going back to Robin Shrew, it's probably difficult to know what his best position is. Is that something you've got to
Yeah.
consider, because he played in quite a few different roles?
The good on the back of that, you know what we talked about earlier. The good thing is with Shruti, he can play in a couple of positions. He can play him up front. He can play him anywhere across any wide position. You know, and he's a good footballer. It's difficult mentioning names because you know everyone's after the same player really. It's just a case of can you pull off a gem before somebody else does, or you know we're talking to plenty. We are exploring every avenue, be it loans, be it anything we can possibly get from any club that we're looking at. But we're just trying to bring the best possible squad that we can for the money we have.
Yeah. Is the budget still negotiable, or is it pretty much reached a level now?
It's they've given me a little bit more than we said, which I'm grateful for. My job is to keep throwing players at them to try and entice the chairman. You know, they're a really good board, good chairman who really want the football club to do well. They also want to do it properly. They also want to do it financially and a financially sound basis, which I fully understand. But if I keep throwing one or two names at them, you never know. One or two things might happen.
Yeah. Is left back an area that you'd probably like to strengthen ideally?
Left
but
back's not a position I'm looking to strengthen at the minute, only because I think Danny's going to be even better for next season. We're going to work even harder with him, specifically on the defending side of his game. We know he can go forward. We'll work even more as a back four and with my goalkeeper. And I can also have Josh Lowe there if I need be. If I can put Andy Gannon there for a couple of games. I can put Burley there for a couple of games. It's not something, when I'm looking at a 20-man squad, it's not probably something I'm looking at necessarily to make us stronger right at this moment in time.
Chris Westwood's left Wycombe. He's a player who on loan a couple of
we
years
can
ago.
talk about. I could give you 700 names. I don't think Chris is where we. I've made it pretty clear that Gary Warren is probably the one I would like to take. Whether that happens or not, I don't know. I've got a backup from that, and I'm speaking to a couple of people on the back of that. But first and foremost, I'd like to clarify the Gary Warren one and see where we are with that.
Yeah, can I just put one other name to you? You did well against Cheltenham on loan at Lincoln last year. Is Ashley Grimes? Is he one that you?
He's out of our price, mate. Yeah, price league. Yeah, I think so. I think he'll get a good League One club or above. I think he was already on good money at Millwall, and I think he's not going to come for anything less, and he probably thinks he's going to go more. So there's a lot of clubs in our league with spending power at the moment. Some clubs, when you speak to players and speak to agents, this club have offered that amount, and this club have offered this amount, and the same club have offered that amount, and a lot of them are going for a lot of strikers this year. So it's tough out there at the minute, so we'll keep going.
Do you think, are you quite surprised at the amount of money that's been thrown around? Because last season it seemed like teams were cutting back and the crowds were going down a little bit, a lot of clubs, and now...
Well, I think you've only got to look at what teams have either come down or come up. You look at the spending power of Crawley, AFC Wimbledon, and although they're a newly promoted club, they've got a decent budget. Swindon, they'll have financial clout. Bristol Rovers, we know have always had a fairly big one, and I know I spoke to Paul the other day. I know Paul's got to work within a probably less budget than they had last year, but it's still sizable. Who else came down? Plymouth. Well, once they get out of administration, then I'm sure that they'll be, plus the teams, Shrewsbury. There's a lot of good clubs. Oxford, to name but two. Rotherham, they're spending, and we've got to make sure that what we get is right. What we get is the right numbers. What we get is the right quality, the best we possibly can, and we've got to work and work and work. We've as a staff, we've making one or two changes, one personnel change. Jason Murphy's coming back on board. He's meeting with us tomorrow regarding. Well, I've had plenty of meetings with him, but he's got some brilliant ideas, really good ideas on the strength and conditioning side, on the analysis side that he'll be taking over from two roles from Andy and Phil from last year. and I think that'll stand us in better stead. I think that'll take the club forward, which we need to do off the field. We've talked about how we want to work, how we're going to work the players, and just trying to improve everything that we possibly can. And with better players, with the likes of Marlon, with Russ Penn, with hopefully 3, 4, 5 others, we can go to that next level and maintain it this year.
Cheers, Mark.